In the northwest corner of Saudi Arabia, where barren desert meets the Red Sea coastline, sits one of the most ambitious urban development projects in human history. This is NEOM, a planned super-development of the future that spans 10,000 square miles and promises to revolutionize how humans live, work, and interact with their environment. At the heart of this 500 billion mega project is The Line, a proposed linear city stretching 170 kilometers across the desert, contained within two parallel 500-meter tall mirrored walls. No cars, no roads, no carbon emissions, just a utopian metropolis designed to house 9 million people. The Line is just one component of NEOM, which also includes Trojena, a mountain resort with artificial snow, Oxagon, a floating industrial city, and Sindala, a luxury island resort. But it's The Line that has captured global imagination and skepticism. Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the driving force behind NEOM, describes it as a civilizational revolution that puts humans first, but others see it differently, as either an architectural fantasy that will never materialize or a sophisticated exercise in greenwashing by a petroleum state seeking to rebrand itself. Today, we examine the line between genuine sustainability and environmental marketing. Is NEOM's flagship project a genuine solution to our climate crisis, or is it merely greenwashing on an unprecedented scale? The sustainability claims for The Line, according to official NEOM marketing, are zero carbon emissions, 100% renewable energy, no cars or streets, a 5-minute walk to all essential services, a high-speed rail connection end-to-end in 20 minutes, preservation of 95% of natural land, and perfect weather year-round within the structure. Dennis Hickey, Chief Development Officer for The Line, explains the concept. Quote, "Everyone thinks The Line is a building. It's not. It's a frame. It's a city with a framework and a grid structure. We're taking the Manhattan grid and folding it up in the air." The vertical city concept aims to solve problems that plague traditional urban sprawl. By building upwards rather than outwards, The Line claims to combine minimal land footprint with maximum living space. Its mirror-clad exterior is designed to blend into the landscape, while its interior microclimate promises comfort without traditional air conditioning. Smart technology is central to these claims. AI systems will manage everything from energy flow to traffic, waste management to water conservation. Buildings will communicate with each other, optimizing resource use in real time. Saudi officials frame The Line as a necessary response to climate change, a prototype for how humanity must adapt to survive the coming century. But architectural experts have questioned whether these ambitious sustainability claims can withstand scrutiny. Can a project of this scale, built in one of the world's harshest environments, truly deliver on its zero carbon promises? The gap between NEOM's promotional materials and its current reality is substantial. Construction began in 2021, but progress has been slower than initially projected. Recent statements from NEOM officials have dramatically revised both the timeline and scope. Dennis Hickey admitted at the World Economic Forum that The Line would take 100 years or whatever to complete and populate, a far cry from the original plan to house 1.5 million residents by 2030, which has now been scaled back to fewer than 300,000. The first phase of construction has shrunk from an intended 10 kilometers to just 1.5 kilometers. Even this modest beginning faces significant challenges. The Wall Street Journal reported capital expenditure estimates for NEOM have ballooned to $8.8 trillion, over 25 times Saudi Arabia's annual budget. An audit reported by the Wall Street Journal found evidence of deliberate manipulation of finances by certain members of management to hide evidence of the project's ballooning costs. For example, projected nightly rates at Trojena's boutique hiking hotel were increased from $489 to $1,866 to make the investment appear more profitable. Despite these setbacks, excavation and foundation work continues. Hickey stated in January 2024, we're due to start pouring the foundations of the first phase of the line, and then we'll start to become vertical later this year. The environmental impact of this massive construction effort raises questions about the line's sustainability claims. Building materials, including concrete and steel, have enormous carbon footprints. The energy required for construction alone will be substantial, and the challenges of creating a self-contained ecosystem in the desert remain formidable. Any discussion of NEOM must acknowledge human rights concerns that shadow the project. The ITV documentary Kingdom Uncovered Inside Saudi Arabia alleged that 21,000 migrant workers from Nepal, Bangladesh and India had died in Saudi Arabia since 2016, when Vision 2030 initiatives began. The BBC reported allegations that Saudi forces permitted the use of lethal force to clear land for the project. These concerns have prompted questions about whether architecture and engineering firms should continue their involvement. Companies including Mott MacDonald, Jacobs, AECOM, Bechtel, Keller, Atkins Realis, WeBuild, Sistra, Aegis and Turner & Townsend have so far maintained their contracts despite mounting pressure. The social sustainability of the line itself has also faced scrutiny. Urban planning experts question whether a linear city with its rigid structure can adapt to changing social needs over time. Traditional cities evolve organically, with neighborhoods developing distinct characters through generations of cultural layering. Hickey has compared the line to Manhattan. Quote, "If you think about it, I live on Central Park. Everybody goes into the park every day. The line gives everybody access to that environment. It's actually much more egalitarian." The critics note that the controlled environment of the line may lack the diversity, spontaneity, and social complexity that makes cities vibrant. Can genuine community thrive in what some have described as a glorified shopping mall? So where does the line fall on the spectrum between genuine sustainability, innovation, and sophisticated greenwashing? So let's analyze the evidence. The concept of compact vertical cities does offer environmental advantages. Urban sprawl contributes significantly to carbon emissions, habitat destruction, and resource inefficiency. So by concentrating human activity in a smaller footprint, the line could theoretically reduce these impacts. The 170-kilometer linear design also presents opportunities for efficient transit systems and energy distribution network. A high-speed rail line could indeed move residents quickly while generating zero direct emissions. Several factors undermine these potential benefits. First, embodied carbon. The emissions associated with construction materials and processes represents an enormous upfront environmental cost. The concrete and steel needed for two 500-meter high, 170-kilometer long structures would generate massive carbon emissions before a single resident even moves in. Second, the desert location necessitates enormous energy for cooling, water desalination, and food production. While Saudi Arabia has abundant solar resources, the energy requirements for maintaining a comfortable microclimate in this environment are extraordinary. Third, the project's reliance on yet-to-be-proven technologies represents a significant risk. Many of the systems required to achieve the line's sustainability goals exist only as prototypes or concepts. And finally, the project's economic sustainability appears questionable. With costs escalating and timelines extending, the financial viability of the line increasingly depends on attracting massive external investment, which in turn requires maintaining the perception of innovation and sustainability. This combination of factors suggests that the line, as currently conceived anyway, contains elements of both genuine sustainability innovation and greenwashing. The concept explores important ideas for future urban development, but the implementation appears compromised by economic, technological, and social limitations. The line represents something more complex than either pure greenwashing or revolutionary sustainability. It embodies the tensions of our current moment between technological optimism and environmental realism, between authoritarian efficiency and democratic participation, or indeed even between spectacular vision and practical implementation. Perhaps its greatest value lies not in what it will achieve, but in what it reveals about our approach to sustainability challenges. True sustainability cannot be manufactured through engineering and design alone. It must also encompass economic viability and cultural meaning. As one urban planning expert noted, cities are not products to be designed and sold, they are living systems that evolve through collective human activity over generations. For market analysts and investors in smart building technology, the line offers important lessons. Genuine sustainable development requires not just ambitious technology, but appropriate scale, realistic timeframes, and authentic community involvement. The most successful smart building initiatives will likely be those that augment existing urban environments rather than attempting to replace them entirely. As construction continues in the Saudi desert, the line stands as both warning and inspiration, a reminder that the path to sustainable cities requires not just bold vision, but careful incremental implementation grounded in ecological, economic, and social reality. The line between greenwashing and sustainability isn't a clear boundary, it's a spectrum. Each development must be continuously evaluated on. And on that spectrum, NEOM's flagship project remains a fascinating, troubling, and instructive case study in the challenges of building a truly sustainable future.